Warrior. Picture waking tomorrow with total command over every word you speak, every emotion you feel, every dollar you spend, and every thought in your mind. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet, over 2,000 years ago, a man believed this wasn't just possible, it was the only path to true freedom. That man was Epictetus, born a slave. Think about that. He had no control over his body, his movements, or his circumstances. He was owned. Yet, he discovered a profound power that transformed him from a physical slave into one of history's greatest teachers of mental and emotional freedom. He taught that no one can harm you unless you allow it. At first, that might sound harsh, especially if you're facing real pain. But here's his point. While we can't control every event, we can control how we respond. That response holds our true power. Today, few are physically chained, but many are trapped by uncontrolled words, emotions, spending, and thoughts. We regret what we say. We let moods ruin entire days. We spend money we don't have on things we don't need. Our minds spiral into fear, doubt, and worry. But what if I told you the wisdom that freed a slave in ancient Rome can free you too? What if the things you feel least in control of your words, moods, finances, thoughts could become your greatest strengths? The Stoics knew something we often forget. True wealth isn't measured in money, but in self-mastery. Real strength isn't controlling others, but commanding yourself. True freedom isn't endless choices, but choosing rightly every day. Life gives you chances to practice this. When someone cuts you off in traffic, that's your moment to master your words and mood. When you're tempted to buy what you don't need, that's your chance to control your finances. When your mind spirals into fear or doubt, that's when you seize control of your thoughts. The Stoics didn't expect perfection. Even Marcus Aurelius, Rome's most powerful man, struggled with this. In his journal, he wrote, "Daily, you control your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." This isn't about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming unshakable. So, no external chaos can unsettle you. When you master your words, you speak with purpose, not impulse. When you master your mood, you choose your emotional state, not let it choose you. When you master your money, it becomes a tool for peace, not a source of stress. When you master your mind, you author your thoughts, not become their prisoner. In the next few minutes, you'll dive deep into these 4 pillars of personal power. We'll explore ancient wisdom that's more relevant than ever. And you'll get practical tools to apply today. But you must commit to action. Each part builds on the last. Don't skip ahead. Stay with me to the end. And I believe this can transform your life. If you're ready to reclaim control, hit like. Comment below which of the 4 pillars words, mood, money, or mind you struggle with most. Subscribe, because this journey to self-mastery is just beginning. Share this with someone who needs it, because real strength starts with you. Declare in the comments, "I am the master of my words, my mood, my money, and my mind." First, mastering your words, the gateway to wisdom. An old saying warns, the tongue is small but can cause great harm. Yet, many don't realize that words don't just hurt others, they shape who you're becoming. Seneca, a towering Stoic philosopher, spent years observing the power of words in Rome's Senate. He saw careers rise or fall with a single sentence, friendships shattered by careless remarks, and alliances forged through precise communication. But his deepest lesson came from within himself. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Senezarot. This is truest with our words. Each time you speak, you close one version of yourself and open another. Ask yourself, are you becoming someone you respect? Recall the last time you spoke in anger and instantly regretted it. In that moment, you felt the raw power of uncontrolled words, words that escaped before wisdom could intervene. Now imagine reclaiming that power. What if every word you spoke was chosen deliberately, not blurted out? The Stoics practiced a simple yet profound discipline, the pause, before speaking, especially in heated moments. They paused and asked 3 questions. Is this true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If any answer was no, they stayed silent. But mastering words isn't just about restraining negativity. It's about wielding positive words with intent. When you offer sincere praise, you don't just brighten someone's day, you train yourself to see the good in the world. When you speak encouragement, you rewire your mind to seek opportunities over obstacles. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "Be like a rocky promontory against which waves crash. It stands firm, and the waters around it grow calm." Your thoughtful words can be that rock for others. In a world of rapid-fire reactions, your measured speech becomes a source of strength and peace. Here's a habit to transform your relationships in the next 7 days. Before speaking in any emotional situation, take 3 deep breaths. On the first, ask what you're feeling. On the second, consider the other person's emotions. On the third, choose words that serve the highest good for all. The beauty of controlling your words is the positive feedback loop it creates. When you speak with purpose, people respond differently. They listen more, trust you deeper, and seek you out. This isn't manipulation, it's the natural outcome of becoming someone worth hearing. But the most powerful effect of mastering words is how it shapes your relationship with yourself. Each kept promise builds self-trust. Each kind word about yourself reshapes your self-image. Each refusal to gossip or complain redirects your energy to what you can control. Your words don't just convey thoughts, they forge them. When you consistently speak of possibility, gratitude, and wisdom, your mind aligns with those truths. You become what you repeatedly say. Your mouth is the bridge between your inner world and the outer one. Master that bridge, and you control the flow of energy both ways. Tomorrow, we'll explore how this principle applies to your emotional world. Affirm this daily: I speak with power, not fleeting emotion. Imagine waking each morning to find someone else dictating the weather in your mind. Some days they choose a storm of anger, others a fog of sadness, and occasionally, if you're lucky, a burst of joy. This is how many live swayed by external events. But the Stoics, and I, learned a truth over 2,000 years old. You're not a victim of your emotions, you create them. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, endured years in Nazi camps. In the worst conditions, he uncovered a truth. Echoing Stoic wisdom: between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space is your power to choose your reaction. In that choice lies your growth and freedom. Picture that space now. as you hear me, between every trigger, and your emotional response is a fleeting moment where you hold absolute power to choose. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire. This discipline isn't about wanting less, it's about cherishing what you have, accepting what you can't change, and relentlessly pursuing what you can control. Master this, and your mood becomes a finely tuned instrument you play, not a wild storm that plays you. Here's a truth that might jolt you. Your emotions aren't facts, they're interpretations. When someone doesn't text back, the situation is neutral. Your mind spins a tale they're ignoring you, angry or indifferent. But what if you told a different story? Maybe they're busy, their phone died, or they're planning something meaningful for you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "You control your mind, not external events. Grasp this, and you'll find strength." Each morning, he reminded himself the day would bring challenges, difficult people, unexpected events. Instead of dreading them, he saw them as chances to hone emotional mastery. Try this powerful exercise now. Think of something troubling you recently. Ask, what story am I telling about this? Is there another way to see it? Which interpretation serves my highest good? The magic happens when you realize you've been the author of your emotional experience all along, just unaware you were writing the story. Mastering your mood isn't toxic positivity or pretending everything's fine. It's choosing responses that strengthen you, not drain you. When anger rises, instead of suppressing or exploding, channel it into positive change. When sadness hits, don't wallow. Let it deepen your empathy for others. The Stoics had a powerful practice called the evening reflection. Each night, they reviewed their day, asking, what emotions did I feel today? Which ones served me? And which ones controlled me? How can I respond better tomorrow? This habit transforms how you experience emotions. You stop fearing your feelings because you know you can guide them. You no longer avoid tough situations because you trust your ability to navigate your emotions. You become a steady anchor in the psychological storms of others, making you invaluable in relationships and work. Every emotion is data, not a command. Anger signals something matters to you. Fear demands your attention. Sadness shows you've lost something valuable. But no emotion gets to decide your actions. Your mood is your inner weather system. And like a skilled meteorologist, you can learn to predict, prepare, and even shape it. Declare below if you're ready to command your emotional world. I control my emotions. They don't control me. Third, mastering money, the tool of freedom. Money reveals more about you than almost anything else. It's not just currency, it's crystallized energy, time, and choices. How you handle it determines whether you live free or enslaved to your own desires. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, wrote, "The poor man isn't the one with little, but the one who craves more." This wasn't just philosophy for him. He lived it, despite his wealth. Seneca chose hardship at times, sleeping on the floor, eating simple meals to remind himself happiness doesn't depend on luxury. Here's a hard truth: if you can't control your spending, you can't control your life. Every purchase moves you closer to freedom or deeper into bondage. There's no middle ground. Mastering money isn't about stinginess or denying joy. It's about aligning your spending with your values, making money a tool, not your master. When you buy out of boredom, sadness, or to impress, money controls you. When you spend on what truly adds value to your life or serves others, you're mastering money. The Stoics practiced preferred indifference, things nice to have but not defining your worth or happiness. Money is one of these. It's better to have than not, but it must never rule you. Think of your last impulse. Buy, maybe it's sitting unused in your home. What were you really buying? The item or a feeling? Status, comfort, excitement, or approval? Here's an exercise to reshape your relationship with money. Before buying something non-essential, pause and ask, what am I truly trying to gain? If it's an emotion or experience, find a way to achieve that without spending first. Often, you'll realize the purchase isn't necessary. Mastering money goes beyond spending. It's about creating value. The Stoics believed in contributing to the common good. When you focus on serving others through your work, money becomes a natural byproduct, not the sole aim. This shift transforms how you earn and spend. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you hesitate to rise in the morning, recall you're waking to do the work of a human being, viewing work as service, not just a paycheck, brings excellence that naturally leads to greater financial rewards." Here's what changed my financial life. I tracked not just where my money went, but how I felt after each purchase. I used 3 columns: item, reason, and feeling afterward. What surprised me was clear purchases that brought lasting satisfaction, aligned with my values, books that expanded my mind, experiences with loved ones, tools to serve others better, impulse buys, status-driven purchases, or emotional spending left me empty or regretful. This simple habit gave me clarity no budgeting app could match. Mastering money also means knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. Every dollar spent should preserve your ability to earn more or serve others better. When you think this way, you naturally build wealth instead of just consuming. The goal isn't to hoard money, but to gain enough freedom to be generous. Take calculated risks and make choices based on what's right, not just what you can afford. Most men live as passive observers of their mental chaos, unaware they can choose which thoughts deserve their energy. Epictetus taught that true wealth isn't vast possessions but few wants. He wasn't just talking about material things. He meant wealth of the soul. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks at your mind's door, you become immensely rich in peace and focus. Consider this. You wouldn't let a stranger barge into your home and rearrange it. Yet you allow random thoughts to disrupt your emotional state. A single negative thought can derail your entire day if you grant it power. The Stoics developed a practice called prosoche, constant attention to the present moment, vigilantly monitoring your thoughts. This isn't meditation as we know it today. It's like being a gatekeeper of your mind, deciding which thoughts enter and which get turned away. Try this life-changing practice over the next week. When you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, pause and ask, does this thought help or harm me? Does it move me closer to or further from who I want to be? If it's not useful, replace it with a constructive one. Mastering your mind isn't about forced optimism or ignoring problems. It's about choosing thoughts that build rather than destroy. Instead of, this is awful, I'm helpless, think, this is tough, but what's the best way to tackle it? The situation stays the same, but your mental experience transforms. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." He knew he couldn't control Rome's enemies, political schemes, or his own mortality. But he held absolute dominion over his mind's kingdom. Your mind constantly spins stories about what things mean. Someone doesn't smile, and you assume rejection, traffic jams, and you imagine ruin. Your boss calls a meeting, and you brace for trouble. But here's your power. You can rewrite those stories instantly. That unsmiling person might carry their own burdens. Traffic is a chance to practice patience or learn something new. A meeting with your boss could bring good news. The Stoics called this the discipline of judgment, separating facts from the stories you tell yourself about them. The fact is, it's raining. The story is, this rain ruins my day. When you master this distinction, you become unshakable, because your emotions no longer hinge on external events. Try this now. Think of something stressing you out. Separate the raw facts from the story you're telling. You'll be stunned to find most stress comes from the story, not the facts. Your mind is a problem-solving machine if you steer it right. Instead of letting it run wild with worry, give it specific challenges to solve. Don't think, what if everything goes wrong? Ask, what's the best way to handle this? Your mind thrives on clear direction. Every thought you entertain builds or breaks the man you're becoming. You're shaping yourself every moment. Declare it. I am the architect of my mind, reclaiming my power. Here's the beauty of mastering these 4 domains. They don't just change individually, they create a ripple effect that transforms your entire life. Like tuning an instrument. When one string is perfect, the others sound richer too. Master your words, and people seek you for your wisdom and weight. Master your mood, and you become a calm anchor others lean on in chaos. Master your money, and you gain freedom to choose based on values, not survival. Master your mind, and you see opportunities where others see only obstacles. The real magic happens in the space between these pillars. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother from my workshop last year. She arrived, overwhelmed, crushed by debt, snapping at her kids, anxious about the future, trapped in negative thought spirals that stole her sleep. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a message that moved me to tears. By applying these principles, she cleared her credit card debt and launched a small business. Her relationship with her kids transformed as she learned to speak from love, not stress. Most importantly, she said she felt like herself again, calm, confident, and in command of her life. Stoic wisdom sparks what psychologists call an upward spiral. Each small victory in one area builds confidence to tackle challenges in others. When you control your words in a heated moment, you prove to yourself you can master your emotions. When you resist an impulse purchase, you strengthen the same mental muscle that deflects negative thoughts. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit." The Stoics went further. Mastering these 4 areas creates a powerful resonance. Each day of practice doesn't just improve that day, it makes every future day easier. Reflect on who you were 6 months ago. What weighed you down? Now imagine who you could be in 6 months if you commit to these principles. The gap between your current and future self isn't as wide as you think. It's a series of small, daily choices. You don't need to perfect all 4 areas at once. Trying to do so often leads to frustration and giving up. Instead, pick one pillar that resonates most and focus on it for the next 30 days. The Stoics believed in sympathia, the deep interconnection of all things. Your inner mastery doesn't just benefit you, it lifts everyone around you. Better words reduce conflict in relationships. Managed emotions create a peaceful home. Wise money habits model responsibility for your kids. Constructive thinking makes you a source of solutions, not problems. But the deepest ripple effect is how mastery reshapes your view of challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as things that happen to you, you see them as chances to practice strength. Every tough conversation is a drill for controlling your words. Every stressful moment is a test of emotional mastery. Every financial choice is a chance to sharpen your wisdom. Every worry is an opportunity to redirect your mental energy. This shift from victim to practitioner changes how you experience life itself. Comment below if you're ready to turn every challenge into strength. Each challenge is my chance to grow stronger. We began with Epictetus, who rose from physical slavery to become a master of the spirit. His secret wasn't changing his circumstances, it was mastering himself within them. Today, you face the same choice. He did too. 000 years ago. You know, true freedom isn't endless options. It's making the right choice every time. Your words, mood, money, and mind aren't separate parts of life. They're interconnected pillars that either support or undermine your growth. What I want you to carry forward is this. It's not about perfection, but living with intention. Each time you pause before speaking, you're training to master your words. Each time you choose how to respond to a difficult emotion, you're forging emotional strength. Every dollar spent in alignment with your values builds financial wisdom. Every negative thought you redirect strengthens your mind's command. The ancient Stoics faced wars, plagues, political upheaval, and personal tragedies. Their lives weren't easy, but they possessed something greater. They had an unshakable inner strength, forged by mastering these 4 domains. That same strength awaits you. Your transformation starts with one decision to take responsibility for your inner world. Not because life is fair, it isn't. Not because it's easy, it won't be. But because you deserve to own your experience, not be its victim. 6 months from now, you could be the same man, wrestling with the same struggles. Or you could be someone who navigates life with wisdom, will, and inner power. The choice is yours, and the time to choose is now. Heed Epictetus. No one can harm you unless you allow it. Today, you revoke that permission. Today, you begin the journey from reaction to response, from chaos to control, from slavery to freedom. The 4 pillars of mastery await you. The man you're meant to become is counting on you, somewhere in eternity. The ancient Stoics are cheering you on. Take the first step today. Start now. If this message resonates, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Write your commitment in the comments and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom. Your journey to mastery begins now. Declare this in the comments today. I choose mastery over mediocrity, will over reaction, and freedom over being a slave to circumstance.